What is up, everybody? I hope you are having a fantastic evening. It is Cover 2 Monday, which means I got my guy, Coach, with me. Coach, what's up, brother?
What's going on, bro? Sitting here going through this snowstorm. Glad to be with you. Combine is over, basically. Everybody's worked out. We're on to the next phase of the scouting process, which is pro days. And that gives us enough time to circle back into NFL news, which is free agency. So I'm pumped.
Yeah, man, free agency is right around the corner. It's crazy. I was just looking at the calendar today. I'm like, holy crap. New league year starts next Wednesday. Tampering period starts next Monday. We're here, man. Like this is it. And everybody's like in draft mode, obviously, but draft comes after free agency. And there's a lot. I don't know about you, but I was going through this free agent list.
Hmm.
Coach, there's a lot of big time players out there. And not even from a standpoint of like guys that you have to spend a ton of money on to really make an impact, but guys that you can go get that are names that everybody recognizes that I don't think are even going to be that expensive in a lot of cases. So I'm
Okay,
curious to see
okay.
some of the free agents that you're interested in. Um, I know that we've talked about philosophy and you can't build your team through free agency and what have you, but you have to make some free agent moves. So we're going to talk a little bit about like players that the 49ers should look to bring back, either their own free agents or ex 49ers. We're going to talk about guys that are just out there in free agency overall. But to your point, the combine just did end,
Hmm.
and that means mock drafts are running rampant. And certain players did themselves favors, certain players did not do themselves favors. So I'm curious
No.
to see kind of like who stood out to you. And then, really more importantly, just from a 49er aspect, we talked, I know, a week ago about players that we were interested in the draft. But now that the combine has happened, who is realistic that the 49ers can get? And I know you've been mock drafting like crazy. So just talk to me. Some of the players that you think might be available that the 49ers realistically could be choosing from, in your opinion.
Well, I don't want to bury the lead. One of the biggest guys that we talked about was, as far as talking about tip of the spear guys who we want, was Kenyon Sadiq, right?
Mm-hmm.
The tight end from Oregon, who conceptually, before he went into his pro day, just seemed like a guy who fit our mold, dynamic guy, can block, has blocking ability, very athletic, huge catch radius, a plus athlete when it comes to him matched up versus really anybody outside of maybe a corner. You're going to need a specialized guy that actually knows how to cover this dude. And he proved just that. He went into the combine and absolutely blew the doors off the place. Kenyon Sadiq finished with a 4.39, about a 40-inch vert. I mean, he completely made a name for himself. And really, because of that, I had to start realistically looking at what could the 49ers do if we were to keep the same philosophy of going with the tight end. So I went ahead and I took a look at the next best thing, which was tight end Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. Six
Mm.
three, 245, the same exact size as Kenyon Sadiq. And I'm going to tell you, this guy clocked in at a 4.5 flat. And let me tell you, what questions you have in Kenyon Sadiq are answers that you get in Eli Stowers. Eli Stowers is a very good attached block tight end, and he's a move guy. One thing that I love about him as far as his strengths are concerned, he's got an explosive vertical threat package with him. All right. He eats up the seam. He's got sub 4.55 speed, which we talked about. How he absorbs the football with soft, natural hands. I mean, he plucks the ball out of the air. That's one of the most beautiful things about his game. He was a former quarterback, so he gives him a lot of instincts and feel. He breaks on out routes and stems with surprising twitch for his frame. One thing about him as well is that he too has a very good catch radius. His long arms and his 45.5-inch vertical in the combine prove to that. He's a big 50-50 ball guy as well. That's somebody who could really prove himself useful in the red zone. He's dangerous with the ball in his hands as well. He's got real wiggle. That's one thing that I don't necessarily see from Kenyon Sadiq. Kenyon Sadiq is dynamic. He gets the ball on the move a lot, and that's by design, right? I'm not here to say that he hasn't done this, but if you want to talk about somebody that's going to break down and give you the biscuits from scratch, Stowers can do it, man. He can chop up. He's got packages. He's got dead leg. This dude can wiggle, get open in the if you're a tackler in the open field, this guy can get loose. Also, he's demonstrated steady year over year improvement. That's something else that you want to see over somebody who is a senior coming out of Vanderbilt. This kid's out of Texas. Now, one thing about him is that he sits at 245 to around 240 pounds, and his weight fluctuates. At some points in the beginning of the season, he's coming in at damn near 238 to 239 pounds. Sometimes during the season, he's been weighed in at over 100, 245 pounds. Another thing about him is that he doesn't have any special teams experience, right? He's kind of not like a do-it-all guy. He majors at tight end, but I gave him a honest look after Kenyon Sadiq, and I got to be honest, as far as just Max Clare, Justin Jolly from NC State, who I really like, Eli Stowers is just as good as Kenyon Sadiq. You're just getting different production. It's really, with the both of them, it's not even really who's better. It's kind of like the style of tight end that you want. So I really became a big fan of Eli Stowers. Now we're going into defensive tackle. Everybody's heard me talk about Peter Woods. I'm a big Peter Woods guy, but he didn't do necessarily good in the combine. That may prove good for us. I still love his tape. What you do in the combine is not football. But there was also some other people that really kind of got me noticing their game, especially in what they did in the combine. One of them is Dominique Orange, the nose tackle out of Iowa State. I love this kid. 6'2", 330 pounds. One thing that I love about Dominique Orange is that even though he plays low to the ground and he kind of has that moniker for being that road grader who's going to two gap and play both A gaps, he can move. He's got very fast, quick twitch about his game, which I love. He's sudden. Some of his strengths that I also love is that he's got real upper body power. This kid can punch. He's got very strong hands. He throws his hands with malintent, popping and jerking the head back. You see a lot of snapback of offensive linemen when you see him just in the melee. If you're looking for him, just look for heads bouncing back. Also, he's got a diverse pass rush arsenal for a nose tackle. This guy can find his way on the interior to get to quarterbacks, which we need. We need somebody to be able to pressure the pocket from the inside, right? To be able to get those edges home, right? One thing we already talked about is exceptional closing speed as a nose tackle. He also, this kid also, where he shines is with stunts and twists as well. He has so much momentum coming downhill off stunts and twists. He uses his mass as a battering ram to completely throw offensive linemen off their track. He's got grown man strength. He's also got excellent pursuit and tracking from chasing down slip screens or being the cleanup guy on would-be screens up the middle. I mean, this guy, he's going to close off the back end. You never catch him walking on the back end of a play that he's not on the strong side of. Also, one thing about Orange is that he made Fieldman's freak list in 2025. I forgot exactly what rank he was on, but one thing that I know that Feldman had about him, which was a blurb, which is Orange had a solid 2024 season, making 24 tackles, including 4.5 for loss. 3.5 of those tackles for loss came in the last 5 games of the season. The 6'4", 325-pound Orange, who spent much of the offseason refining his diet, benches 560 pounds, squatting 725 pounds, jerk cleaning 415 pounds. He also added a vertical jump at 325 pounds to 34 inches. So we got a lot of athleticism in this guy where I feel like if we got him on the interior, he can help out these edges that we've already invested in. Also, if we're talking about interior defensive tackles as well, Albert Regis from Texas A&M. He ran a 4.8 in the combine. This guy is 6'1", 305. Everything that I basically said about Orange, Dominique Orange, you can kind of put it on him just in a smaller package. This guy can also run. I love what he showed us. Now, if we're going into edge, now most of the guys that are going to be at edge are not going to be there, but I do want to bring up just one guy on the defensive line that was kind of rumored to come to us, Jesse, that I was not pleased with. Lee Hunter from Texas Tech. Not a fan,
I was
bro.
gonna ask you about him actually.
Yeah, not a fan.
Hold
He
on,
just
real quick. Hold on before we get into those guys. There was two guys that you mentioned that you had a long conversation about or a long rant about, and that was Dominique Orange and Eli Stowers. The question is, do you think would you take either of those guys in round one, or are you hoping that they fall to round two for the 49ers?
I wouldn't mind Dominique Orange in round two. I think that there's honestly, if there's a run on D tackles, I wouldn't be mad at him in round one because he's a top 10 defensive lineman in this year's draft. And I
Okay.
wouldn't say he's in the bottom five. I would say he's right at like 5 or 6. Right, with
Okay.
Lee Hunter getting exposed in the combine, that elevated Dominique Orange. I think Dominique Orange is probably like one of the top 5 interior defensive linemen in the draft right now.
Yeah.
So if we picked him up and let's say Christian Miller, Peter Woods, Caden McDonald, and Caleb Banks are off the board, and the Niners were really steadfast on getting themselves a quality interior defensive lineman, I would not be mad if their answer was Dominic Orange.
Okay. Okay. Talk to me real quick about the defensive tackle. Why are you not a fan of him?
All right, so Lee Hunter, he's a two-gap interior defender. One thing that I do like about him is that his game film checks out, right? He's a tough guy, interior. Another thing that I like about Lee Hunter is that when he played at Texas Tech on a team that's not really known for defense, some things that I love about him is that he gets off the ball with surprising burst for a man his size, right? At 320 pounds, 330 pounds. He's got a really big wingspan for his size. He's only 6'3", but he's got a 6'9" wingspan. So he's got a thick, powerful base. Another thing about him is that he accounts for two gaps very well. He creates real problems for offensive coordinators who are trying to get a run game going. And as far as his pass rush ability, he demonstrates legitimate pocket pass rush ability as a bull rusher. I don't want to say anything else about any of his other moves that I haven't seen, but as far as like what he does get into the quarterback, bull rushing is kind of like his kind of like calling card. Now, this is what I don't like. He gets really tall in his pad level. To only be 6'3", he plays way too tall. And you can get away with that in college when you're playing against less talented offensive linemen. But in the league, you're losing reps, period, just off pad level. I don't care how strong you are, how talented you are. And if you don't believe me, go look at Javon Kinlaw's first couple of years here, where he was damn near rendered useless in a lot of different times on the field because what was the biggest thing with Javon Kinlaw? His pad level, right? Like once you got him on the right track and you got a flat back and you got him coming off the ball at the right trajectory, he was a problem to deal with. But for the most part, Javon Kinlaw's biggest problem is that he was bigger than everybody in college, so he didn't have to use technique. He could just throw everybody around, right? Arm move guys, right, with your 500-pound bench press. But that doesn't work when the other guys on the other side have 450-pound bench press. That 50 pounds don't really make a difference. Also, his conditioning and his snap count management are genuine concerns. When he's hot and he's playing good, all of the great things that I said about Lee Hunter are on display. If you get him on the field for longer than like 6 to 7 plays, his effort dwindles dramatically. I'm talking about 30 to 40%. I don't want to be disrespectful and say he's playing half-ass 50%, but it's noticeable, very noticeable. And part of it is because he does play so well when he's winded, when he's not winded. He has his wind. His effort level visibly drops as he stays on the field. He also kind of like he kind of has like a little Chris Jones in his game, but he hasn't earned it. He takes insufficient paths in line games. Like sometimes when they're doing stunts and you know he's supposed to be looping to the C gap, if he doesn't want to be physical sometimes, or if he's tired, sometimes he'll like widen it and go in a D gap or like try to loop all the way around the defensive line, leaving huge gaps in passing lanes and rush lanes for quarterbacks. And I've seen it happen a lot of times while he was playing. But while he was at Texas Tech, he was kind of like, you know what I'm saying, the BSD. Like he was the guy. So a lot you could tell that they set up a lot of stuff for him, and they kind of like touted him as like their NFL prospect guy. I think he plays spoiled. I think at times he plays lazy, which means that he's really not as conscientious as he should be. And I do think he's a front runner. The best games that I've seen him play is when they're beating the crap out of teams. But when they play like tough teams, he dwindles. And that's something that I've seen as well.
Well, you also got to wonder how much of it is playing next to David Bailey, who, for my money, David Bailey, and it's not even close, way better than Bain. He's by far the best edge in this draft, in my opinion. That's my opinion. I don't know if you agree with that. A lot of people are Bain guys. I don't see it with Bain. I'm not saying Bain's horrible, but I think Bain is. I think the difference between Bailey and Bain is significant, and I think Bailey's the clear choice in my opinion. So, I mean, anybody playing next to Bailey, I think is going to get a boost as well. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I'm a big fan of Bailey as well. I mean, honestly, outside of Messidor, because I just think he's just a little too small. I like the three true edges because Arvell Reese is kind of like a jack of all trades, right?
yeah,
Is he
he's more of
really
a
an edge?
stand up. He can be, yeah.
Yeah, he could do it all. I'm proud of him. Do your thing, bruh. But if is he a traditional put your hand in the dirt guy? Now that's the only thing that I see about David Bailey where I don't know if that's going to translate in the league. Where if David Bailey has to put his hand in the dirt and like that's where he has to make his money, you know, he's light in the ass, man. We're talking about David Bailey's not even 250 pounds. So
Yeah.
we'll see. I don't know. But I do love David Bailey. I just think that Ruben Bain is built for putting his hand in the dirt to hold that edge down.
Just
I
has
like
those
them
short
both.
ass arms, man. That
Yeah.
always seems to struggle in the NFL. You always get these guys who are freak athletes and they got these short arms, and it's like, oh, especially in the trenches, it never seems to go well. Never seems to go well. But I don't know. For me, I still think it's offensive line or bust. I mean, Monroe Freeling is a guy that I talked about last week. I think he had himself a good combine. He had like I forget what drill it was, where he was like slipping and sliding everywhere. You could tell he was a little off. But outside of that, I think he tested pretty well. I don't know that he's going to be there, but I think the 49ers are going to have at least one of these three guys there, either Caleb Lomu, Monroe Freeling, or Vega Lone. I think one of those three are going to be there. I would go with one of those three if they are. A guy that I would love to avoid is Casey Concepcion. Listen, I think he's talented, but too many drops. Not my type of receiver. I hope that the 49ers don't go receiver there. That's my biggest thing. Just please don't go receiver. It's just please don't go receiver at 27.
I don't think there's a receiver that's. I mean, personally, I think the best receiver in the draft is not an X. I think the best receiver in the draft is a number 2 receiver. So that should let you know how I feel about every receiver going down, right? As far as the tackles are concerned, let me ask you a qualifying question, and I think that may steer you towards the guy that you want at tackle. What would you rather have? A guy that you can plug into the offensive line now and then eventually take over Trent's job? Or do you want a guy who's the left tackle and he's waiting his turn until Trent eventually goes? Or the last question is, do you even want to tackle depending on whether or not Trent is on this team or not? Or does that matter?
If Trent's on this team, the order that I would go is I would go Vega, I would go Freeling, and I would go Lomu. That would be the order. If Trent's not on this team, let's say all three are available, and not all three are going to be available. I'm not that crazy, but I would go Freeling, Vega, Lomu. So no matter what, Lomu would go probably be my last of those three. But if Trent's here, I would probably go with the guard. If Trent's not here, I would go with Freeling, if
All right,
assuming that they're both available.
so here goes my question to you. Number one, Vega Iowone is a guard. He's not a
Yes, I
tackle.
know. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
If Trent's here, I would
So
rather go Vega.
so if Trent's here, you still want to go guard in round one?
I would go Vega. Yeah. If Trent's not here, then and one of those tackles is available, I'd probably go one of those tackles.
Freeling
Especially if
or
it's Monroe
Lomu?
Freeling. Especially if it's
So
Freeling.
with Monroe Freeling, you know he's going to have to sit a year if we draft him. He can't
Listen,
play
if
guard. Where's he going to play?
I know he can't play guard. If Trent's here, and you go Freeling, then yes, obviously he's in a city year. He's not going to play guard. I'm fine with that. If Trent's not here, then he's going to have to take his lumps. I'm sorry, but you're going to have to play him and let him take his lumps. I understand that he's going to need a year, but you're going to have him take his lumps. Just
So
is what
you're
it is.
okay. You're okay with us drafting a player that's not gonna play next season?
If I think that that's the best long-term player, yeah, I am okay with that.
Man,
Yeah. I'm not, listen, I'm all about like long-term, and I think Monroe Freeling long-term is the best player of those three.
he disqualified. Monroe Freeling is disqualified for me,
Why?
just off the fact that he can't. If Trent's here, he can't play right away, and we have to wait on him for a year, and he can't play guard. So you're okay, yeah. So
You can get
got
a guy
yourself-
that you can go get yourself a guy that can play now, and then that's not going to be as good in a couple years, and it's a waste of a pick anyways. Like if you
was
feel
my
like
larger.
long term he's the best player, then that's who you go with. And I'm
Well, that
not.
was
You may
my
not
la-
agree with that, right? So that's fine.
Well, that was my larger discussion, which was trying to figure out what you wanted to do at tackle, because I think what you're really saying is that you want Lomu. That's what you're really saying, because whether or not Trent is here or, they get the contract situation handled, Lomu can still play guard. Lomu could play left guard. And Lomu is a left tackle. So really what you're saying is that best case scenario, Lomu is what you would want at 27, but you want to go off. But all right, so and let me ask you another question: is this conversation in a vacuum, or do you want to go offensive line at the first round? Is this what you want to do?
I keep running through these drafts and scenarios, and I feel like the best player available, if it's one of those three, is an offensive lineman. Now, if all three of those guys are gone, I'm not gonna go and probably reach for the next guy, which is probably like a Max Ironacre or whatever out of Arizona State, or I'm trying to think
He
who
may
else
get
would
drafted.
probably.
He may not be. Ironacre may not be there at 27, Jesse.
You think he goes above those guys, those three?
Yeah,
Really? Okay.
bro. The tackles.
What
are
about
gonna
Blake
all
Miller
right,
then? Well, okay. Why
No,
don't you?
that
Who
would
do,
be
who do you think
reaching.
for sure is gone? Okay, so then I'm not going there. If whatever one you think is the next one there, that's a reach. I'm not going that guy. If you think Ironacre is not going to be there, or however you say his name, cool.
Yeah.
But let's say the next guy is Blake Miller, right? Offensive tackle out of Clemson, and all those
Right.
other guys are gone. I'm not reaching for a Blake Miller just to get an offensive lineman, if that makes sense.
Hell no. No,
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying as well.
Yeah.
For me, I don't think tackle is our year, honestly. I think that we sign Trent and we go somewhere else. I would love to double down at D tackle, double down at the D line. We need a unit on our team that breaks the rules, right? We need a unit on our team that when we lead into week after week, this is the team, this is the unit that we lean on to win football games, where most teams like, hey, we can rush with four, right? We need to be able to blitz, and we need a wave of defensive linemen. If somebody like Peter Woods is there at 27, I'd say snatch him. If like I said, if Dominique Orange is there, I'd say snatch him. Even there's a possibility where I've seen Caden McDonald go as low as 28, 29. If Caden McDonald is down there, I'd say go get his ass. right? Caden McDonald matched up with Alfred Collins would be phenomenal, right? Because that's what we need. We need ways, we need depth, we need youth. So I wouldn't mind that as well. Also, I wouldn't mind if we were, there's three safeties in this year's draft that can go in the first round. Caleb Downs, EMW, and Dylan Thieneman. Caleb Downs is a pipe dream. But EMW at 27 is a phenomenal pick. I wouldn't be mad at that. I would not be mad at Dylan Thieneman at 27. That'd be a phenomenal pick. What do you think about that?
Yeah. So you said you think EMW's gonna be taken? Is that what you said, or you think he'll be
No,
there?
I said if EMW or Dylan Thieneman are there at 27 and they went with one of those safeties at 27, I would be happy with that pick.
Yeah. Listen. I know that Thieneman tested really well. Oregon guy,
He played
obviously.
he can play,
He
bro.
didn't he didn't play that fast though. I don't give a shit what
What?
anybody says. Bro, I watched every game of him. He did not play at that speed and not even close to that speed. He's a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player. That's not what I'm saying. But the way he tested, he did not play at that speed. He just didn't. He
You
did
hating on your
not.
own kind, man. You know
I'm
it's a
not,
revolution.
man. I'm
You know
just
it's a revolution
listen.
happening in the DB in the DB room, man.
That's
Get
cool.
with your
I'm not
kindred,
again,
get with your brethren.
I think he's a good player, and I'm an Oregon fan. I don't think he played anywhere near the speed that he tested at. I just don't.
Man,
Wait,
Thieneman
watch
can
all
play.
22. Brother, I'm an Oregon Duck fan. I watch every game of Oregon inside and out. Like, what are you talking about? Absolutely didn't play at that speed. There's nothing that you're going to say, go watch all 22. I got all the all 22 that you want, brother. Access to all of it. I watched every single snap of this kid. He did not play at that speed. I'm sorry. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm just
Mhm.
saying he did not play at that speed. And nobody up here is going to sit here and tell me about an Oregon fucking player and we'll go watch all 22. Like, no, it's absolutely not. Absolutely
Look,
not.
I think Thieneman is, first of all, I think that he does play. He's very sudden. I think he's physical. He's a true center field free safety. Think that he's conscientious, and he's Cabo Click adjacent, if you know what I mean. Come on, man, he fit
Ha!
right in with the boys. Like, come on, like
Cabo Click adjacent.
he is.
Wow.
He's Cabo Click adjacent, bro. Like we all know what that means. Come on, he fit right in. They love
You're
him.
right.
Oh,
You're right about
come
that.
on, man.
You are right about that, brother. I
Nuke of
mean,
magnesia at the safety position. Eat your heart out, NFL. You and your
you are
dreads.
you are
Come
right
on,
about
man.
that.
They'd love it.
Yeah.
So
See, I
I
thought
like
you were talking about like your own kind because he's an Oregon Duck, and then I realized it's because of Oregon.
yeah. You know,
I
look, I'm just saying. I've watched Dylan Thieneman. You know what sold me on him? His Purdue film. He's got to watch his Purdue film. He was killing in Purdue. I really like that film. But also, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Have you watched? What do you think about him?
haven't watched him, so I can't say.
He's rangy. 6'4", 200 pounds, true 4.5 40, like 4.5 flat. So he runs like a good 40. This guy can go sideline to sideline. They're every blade of grass, conscientious. Like his play recognition is on like, I'm not being blasphemous. I'm not saying he's the same level, but it reminds me of Fred Warner. The way he can find the ball, the way he does not stalk or flinch on fakes. This guy knows exactly where the ball is going. He's got really good speed, great angles, really good in the run game too. He's physical. EMW matched up with Malik Mustafa with that tandem right there, that would be a problem. I really like EMW. If they got him at 27, I wouldn't be upset with that either. So for me, I don't want to go O-line in the first round because I believe that this year's draft Tell me if you agree with this or not. I think that this year's draft is exponentially more talented than last year's draft, especially the top end, the top half of
I
this year's draft. If Go ahead.
I think I think I agree with that. Yes.
Like the top 10 players of this year's draft would push all top 10 of last year down to the bottom half of the first round, right? Like, and because of that, I think that this year's draft is so top heavy that there's going to be early runs in the draft. And those early runs are going to push down guys that really are day two picks to day three, right? They're going to
Mm.
be, and there's a lot of good guards. Like one guy that I think is overrated, and I really don't get it, but Jennings Dunker. Like that's a guy that everybody loves. I keep hearing about this guy getting drafted in like maybe the second round or the third round. I don't see it.
Every year there's a guy that all 49er fans universally agree on, and every year this guy sucks. Listen, I'm gonna shut this down right here. No, Cap, you don't have all 22. You don't watch these guys. What do we want? We want safety. Let's go to safeties. What year do you want? We going this year's draft? Okay, let's do it. Let's go. Oh, there it is. There it is. They're all 22 on him and a million other fucking people. Come on, dude. Like, stop. Stop.
Jesse is the one, bro.
I'm just saying, bro. I hate it.
You got time today, dog.
Cap, you're not an Oregon Duck fan either. You don't watch these guys, Cap. Okay. All right.
Yo, you got
Listen,
time
man.
today.
I again, and when these guys in the chat say stuff like this, like, show me your all 22. Show me the film breakdowns you've been doing. I'm very curious. And listen, I'm not saying I'm right about every player. That's not what I'm saying. But to act as if I don't have access to the things or don't watch these things, like, okay, bro, like, just makes no sense.
Like, yeah. But I like Thieneman. And but at the same time, let's say EMW and Thieneman and Downs are like your class of, your class of the safety class this year, right?
How would you rank those three?
The way I just named them.
Okay.
But I would say,
so Thieneman would be three for you?
No, but not really three. I would say Caleb Downs is one. And
yeah.
I feel the same way about Thieneman and EMW is the same exact way I feel about Kenyon Sadiq and Stowers, is that it's not really one and two. It's what is your preference, right? Because they both, coming out of the wash, they're both going to be equally as productive. But what is your preference? Do you want a long, rangy corner that can come down, erase tight ends, come down in the box, and clip off guys, keep your run game intact, right? Or do you want a guy that's 6'1", he can play a little bit of dime linebacker, he's going to give you elite speed closing down in the box, and he's going to be a true center fielder for you, but you're going to have to keep him back there when it's time to actually utilize him. He's not going to be buzzing from the box all the way out. That's the thing about EMW, is that his range, that 6'4", is what makes him so desirable at that center field position, at that safety position. He can go sideline to sideline easy. Just go watch his film. I'm a big EMW guy. The Rams may get him, honestly.
Like, for example, if we're talking Thieneman specifically, or if the choice is Thieneman round 1 or Kamari Ramsey round 2, I'm going Ramsey. Easy. Round 2. I like Kamari Ramsey.
You would go Kamari Ramsey over Thieneman?
Round 2. I'm saying if it's Dylan Thieneman round 1, I got to take a safety round 1, or I can wait all the way till round 2 and take Kamari Ramsey. I'm taking Kamari Ramsey.
Kamari Ramsey will be there.
That's what I'm saying. I would take Kamari Ramsey round 2 before I took Dylan Thieneman round 1.
What do you think about Genesis Smith out of Arizona? Big dude, 6'2".
I know. Yeah, he's a big guy. He's a big guy. I like him. I mean, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like there's probably 8 safeties that I would feel real comfortable with in this draft. 6 to 8. He's probably
Yeah,
one of them.
there's some really good safeties in this year's draft. You know, also Jalen Stroman from Notre Dame. I
Hmm.
think honestly he could be a UDFA man.
Yeah.
But he's somebody that's really nice. Also, your boy out of Texas. What's the white kid's name? Michael Taff. That kid. He's a day 3 guy.
Yeah,
Split
the
by
Texas kid. Yeah,
safety.
yeah. Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, he's nasty. I would take him, and he's a day 3 pick. This is what is not being talked about enough. The 3 fourth round picks and that third round pick is gonna make or break our draft. That what we do, if we get value there, that could take our draft over the top. So it's gonna be important for to see what we're gonna do in the fourth round.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what? We only have 7 picks this year? 7?
Yeah, we have one, two, three fours, and a fifth.
Yeah. 7 picks. It's not a lot. But at least they're all before, at least I'd rather them all be early, kind of like they are.
Yeah, we're
I'll
gonna
take
have a
it.
quick draft. We ain't gonna be here all day. So we
Yeah,
can
yeah,
say that.
yeah, yeah. Okay, well,
Like
okay, let
last
me ask
time.
you this then. Okay, all right. It almost sounds like, hear me out.
Okay.
If there is an option to trade back from 27 to pick up an extra pick, that might be the move, right? Because we just talked about probably 8 to 10 guys that like we could go with at 27, depending. And if you got, let's say, 4 of them available, why not trade back a couple picks if you can? If you can. I'm not saying it's always available. But sometimes it is.
No, because we're old, man. We need and like we said, you said it, Grant said it, a lot of people said it after the season. I pushed it back, I pushed back against it, negative fan, positive fan. I pushed back against it because I felt like you guys were rifling through the dead body before it even got cold. It was like, Jesus Christ, like at least have some respect. But the biggest thing that you guys were beating me over the head with that I really didn't have a lot to defend at the time was who do you think is that you can hang your hat on that could be a part of the core? Like who's promising to you, right? Who's an elite guy that's young that you can say is, gonna be ascended into that guy we can count on. And I really couldn't, a lot at the time, we were just saying names, but it sucked because you guys were asking like the right question at the wrong time, right? Basically, like, well, we just saw him play, so tell me who. You can't tell me who. But that's why you stay in the first round, Mr. Tradeback Man. You stay in the first round to go BPA. You stay in the first round to say, all right, what's BPA for what we do? It's our job to figure out where we can find a force contributor that can get on the field right away. Now, I understand your team is, I understand, that the team is in transition and there's certain things where, yeah, if you were to get a tackle and put them behind Trent and get all of that, if that's their plan, I wouldn't be happy with it, but I would be okay because I would understand the logic, right?
Yeah.
But for me, I want somebody that is going to expound upon the little sparks that we saw last year. So double down on that D line. Help out Alfred Collins and Michael Williams. Go get yourself an interior guy where we can finally stop the run for real. Or if you really believe in a safety, go get a safety so you can lock in all of this young talent that you have that you really can't necessarily utilize them in the right way because you're just basically trying to figure out who can consistently stay on the field. Right? So go get your safety to lock it all together, right? Get yourself a linchpin. Now you have 3 guys, 3 levels of your defense where you got Fred Warner, you got Nick Bosa, now you got yourself an air general back there, a ball hawk, right? If they do want to go receiver, that's the one position that I just don't want them to draft. I mean, obviously the obvious ones like kicker, punter, long snapper, but as far as like
For
main
sure.
positions, yeah, I don't think they should pick a receiver up in the first round.
I'm with you. Well, before we get there, there's obviously free agency, which starts next week. But before we get there, we do have a couple super chats. So Frank Tom Ocean says, Jesse and Coach, the GOATs, hope all is well, broskies. All is well. I appreciate you. Blue Bronco says, Jesse must be having a bad hair day. Yeah, maybe something like that. Maybe I got a hair transplant. I don't know. Gammon Brown says, Jesse, I didn't. Jesse, you need to watch Oregon's All 22.
He's being he's that, if you know Gavin, you know that he's poking at you right now.
I know he is. That's why I'm not even. That's why I'm silent right now. Daz says D line is much easier to improve through free agency compared to O line. Also, isn't going D line again an admission that we screwed up in last year's draft? Yeah, super fan. Tell us about it.
I can answer that.
Okay.
No, because we're not there yet. We whiffed on a lot of guys on D-line, and we lost some guys. We lost Eric Armstead. We moved on from all of our DIY edges that we picked up, the former first-round picks that we moved on. They went ahead and got their bag together and moved on. We've got one guy that we drafted in the first round. We shit the bed on Javon Hargraves, and Nick Bosa's coming off of an ACL injury. At our best right now, we built this team through the defensive line. We built this team through the trenches. At the very best, when we had our defenses and we were going to Super Bowls, it was because our trenches were together. And come on, man, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl, bro. The style of football that wins the Super Bowl, that's the way, that's the rules of the game right now. And they are dogging our asses in the trenches. I don't care if we look redundant or, doesn't it mean that they screwed up the last time? No, it means that that's how bad the defensive line is depleted that we had to go get more. So, no, like, come on, bro. The Seahawks was whooping our ass in the trenches. Were they not, Jesse?
No, they were. They absolutely were. Both sides.
So we got to go get guys.
I mean, listen, if there's tiebreaker, I always go trenches. So I'm with you. You on that. Daz said, oh, yeah, we got that one. Gammon says, I need to drag both of you top 5 quarterbacks for next year. I'm assuming you don't mean draft. You mean in the NFL. Listen, Dylon, and Dylon. Think about it. All 5 of those are Brock Purdy. And if he's not in your top 5, you're a hater, pal. So there you go. Drag that, Gammon. All right, let's talk about free agency. I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of players out there.
Why are you excited about free agency, bro?
Because listen, I agree with you that free agency is not how you build your team. Mm-hmm. But you can get a lot of depth in free agency. And I was just going through the list, man. I've got like my wish list of 5 guys that I would like to get. But I think there's 5 guys that if we don't get them, that we could get as a secondary option that would still be good options and wouldn't come at an expensive price. I was going through it. I'm like, man, there's some good young talent out there, like optional talent that, some of it is like, hey, this player was drafted high and hasn't worked out for whatever reason. You take a flyer on him, you get him super cheap, you bring him in the building. I'm not trying to say that anybody on this list is a world beater necessarily, but man, there's some guys out there for sure. I'll give you an example.
Yeah, right? I want to hear you guys.
So you've heard me talk about Isaiah Likely a million times over. Yes, I would love to have Isaiah Likely. I don't think it's going to happen, right? Especially because Pitts it sounds like he's not going to be on the board. So if that's the case, Isaiah Likely is going to go super expensive. Just shot up. But I'll tell you an all-around tight end that is really good, that would be a nice little option, would be Cade Otton. Out from the Bucks. He can block, he can receive. I mean, he's a good player. You get him a hell of a lot cheaper, probably. Like Cade Otton's a guy that I would look at. There's for the Odafe Owe that everybody wants, that, of course I would love to have him, but there's the Azeez Ojulari for dirt cheap, probably. 2 years ago, everybody wanted to trade for Azeez Ojulari. Like, he's just going to be out there to be had, and the edge market is pretty deep. You can go get an Azeez Ojulari for pretty cheap. Talented player, only 26 years old, played for the Giants, played for the Eagles. He's a guy you could go get. Another name that's out there that I wouldn't mind kicking the tires on that had a bit of a resurgence towards the end of the year last year with the Commanders. Treylon Burks, wide receiver, one-time first round pick, didn't work out with the Titans. Got a chance with the Commanders last year, had a broken hand, was still out making a few plays here or there. Kick the tires on a player like that. I'm just saying that there's guys out there that are intriguing, to say the least. Not guys that you want to spend all your money on, not guys that you have to have, but there are guys out there that are talented and young that you can take a chance on.
Okay. So you're looking at, nobody over $10 million a year, basically.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there's guys like I would love to have a Rashid Shaheed, right? But you're probably not going to get Rashid Shaheed. So I don't know. What if you got Hollywood Brown instead or Treylon Burks? Like, would you kick the
Tutu
tire on those
Atwell.
guys? I would. Tutu Atwell, something. You know what I mean? Exactly. So though I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of players that have name recognition that everybody knows that aren't going to be super expensive, but could really fill out this roster and make a difference. You know, it's like
Uh, okay.
I don't want to bring back Jawan Jennings. I think he's going to be too expensive. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze. I think you can go get younger, speedier players that are a fraction of the price and take a chance on those guys. That's just me.
All right, so let's get to it. You want to go offensive line in the first round, and you already mentioned Vega. So you want to go as far as to, you wouldn't mind drafting a guard in the first round, which I think is a pipe dream for the Niners to draft a guard in the first round.
You're probably right about that.
But what about Joel Bitonio, 34-year-old, 12-year vet out of Cleveland Browns? We seen the reports, man. There's people saying that there's real legs behind the Niners having interest in Joel Bitonio. His market valuation right now is $12.9 million a year. He clearly be the second highest paid, no, the third highest paid offensive lineman on our team behind Trent and Colton McKivitz. We gotta keep the main thing the main thing. He's kind of on Trent watch too. Like for the past 2 years, they've been asking him if he's gonna retire and if he still wants to play. This guy's think he's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's done a phenomenal job in the league with the Browns, but what do you think?
ESPN tagged us to go after him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. I think for me the goal is to get younger at all costs. And Batonio does not fit that mold whatsoever. Like at all. I would he's good, but to your point, like he
He's
could retire at
34.
any time and he's going to be 35, I think, when the season starts. Like or close to it. Like I think there are
Mm-hmm.
other options out there, man, that you can get for a lot cheaper that are younger, that are still good players. You know,
One thing about him, if you want a bridge, this dude has played 17 games to
he's
16
no, he
games
plays,
since
he plays,
2017, man.
but
He
he's
played
hurt. He's always hurt. He
99.
plays through it.
Yeah, he played 1,080 snaps last season. 99.72% of all offensive snaps. So, you know, he's a Cummins. He'll run. He'll run all
Yeah.
day. You
Yeah,
know,
he will. He will. I
do
you
you
know, I
do
don't
you
know.
think the Niners really what would you think about us if we did do it though?
I then I would say that for all the talk of where I've said that the 49ers shouldn't act as if they are close to winning a Super Bowl and really kind of build towards the future, and you've been more positive, but you tend to agree with that. I think a move like that tells us that the 49ers are a little delulu, personally. Like they think they're like truly win now championship mode. That's
I
what that
think if
tells
they
me.
picked up off, I think if they picked up offensive lineman in the first round, that would speak that as well. I mean, unless Trent's gone. If Trent's gone, then go get your tackle. I get it.
Hmm.
But if Trent's here, man, make them up. Make first of all, you and I, we've gone through this before. So let's just go through the methodology one more time. You and I are both in agreement that the 49ers are not Super Bowl contenders, at least for 2 seasons.
Yeah.
All right. So we agree with that. And Trent Williams is still here, right? Why would we draft somebody to back up Trent, even if Trent went down? We just put in a swing tackle or somebody to kind of get us through. Or we Austin Pleasant it out. You know what I mean? Like, why would we need to go spend real assets on him now? Man, make this dude earn his money. I'm halfway tight. I'm halfway. You know, I'm halfway tight with Trent anyway, man. For him pulling this, like I know he's exercising his right as a player, but what it does is that it just kind of dampens any type of real progress that you're going to see from the offensive line, because they got to get out of that contract before they start paying guys over there.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't begrudge Trent for doing what he's doing.
Yeah, but I'm still tight though.
The 49ers shouldn't been the need of Trent though. Like
You said what?
they shouldn't. The 49ers, if I'm the 49ers, I call his bluff. You're
Really?
38. You're under contract. You either play or you sit out. Have at it. We're drafting your future replacement anyways, and if we have to play him a year early, then that's what we're going to do. But
I
I'm
would
not
have
paying
so
you
much
any.
respect for
I'm
them
not
if they
getting. But I'm not gonna let you go because we could use you, and I'm not gonna re-sign you.
You know what this would
Deal with
say?
it. What?
That the shift in the building is real. Because we've been seeing it. They've been like, this is how real G's move. You know what I'm saying?
They
Real
move in
G's move in
silence
silence
like
like lasagna.
lasagna.
You know I had to. It was in my head. But the reason why is that if you really have like, if there's really like a new move, you don't even really got to flex until you have to, right? You know, like Parag and them are here, a whole bunch of shit changed, but we ain't got to let you know what really changed until it's time to exercise that, to show you what's really changed. And I think that the Brock Purdy deal is a sign of the organization taking over, right? I think that Jawan Jennings not getting paid is a sign of the organization taking over. I also believe that Trent Williams I don't know. We may be hearing in a week from now that the Niners, and you know how it is, dude. They take everything to the last minute. But it will come out. Maybe that, hey, the Niners and Trent Williams are on two completely different sides of the room on this situation. They're nowhere closer than they were the first time we spoke. And the Niners are entrenched they are convinced and emboldened to let Trent Williams walk. You know what I'm saying? What happened? What'd you see?
Look at what Frisco Shill says. He says the
That
cheese and lasagna keeps me from moving silent. Somebody's lactose intolerant. I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're 100% right about
They
that.
may move
And
on.
I don't expect the 49ers to do it, but I
Put this
would. And
comment up.
Which one?
The last one that just came up. Bro, stop putting your faith in names, bro. You know what I mean? Like, just go get another guy. Go get another guy. I understand this. We're not gonna get Trent Williams at that spot. But guess what? When we lost Joe Staley, we didn't get Joe Staley at that spot either. Just go get another guy. Football is going to happen whether we want it to or not. And sooner or later, we're gonna have to walk on from Trent. You know what I'm saying? Eastside Nobody said Trent's proven stop it. He's proven it, stop it. He's 38 though. How much longer can we do this?
Listen, Trent Williams in a vacuum, of course, amazing. But acquiescing to Trent Williams and extending him and putting your future in some sort of trouble because you want to add money on and
There you
extend him. And
go.
then if he ever retires, you're going to put yourself in a blender and pay a guy that's no longer on your roster an exorbitant amount of money. Like that doesn't make any sense. Like he's under contract. Okay, so what happens? Trent Williams is about his money, right? So he doesn't show up to training camp. He doesn't show up half the time anyways. So who gives a rip if he doesn't show up to training camp?
Hello.
Then if he doesn't show up to games because he has no guaranteed money, he doesn't make money. Trent will play. I guarantee you, week 1 rolls around. If he's about his money, Trent will fucking play football. He'll suit up
Motherfuckers
and he'll
play,
play.
bro.
So who cares? Let him miss training camp. Then
And
the
you know,
best thing is that if you draft his replacement anyways, guess what? That guy got all the reps in training camp anyways. So
come
there
on,
you go.
man. You know what else is kind of crazy about this too? Is that half of this is like not saying like the quiet part out loud, which is we feel like we're lucky to have Trent Williams. We didn't develop him. We didn't draft him. We didn't procure him. He came in as a hired gun, and we don't know how to replicate that shit anymore. So motherfuckers are scared. Come on, man. Just put it out in the open. That's what it really is. It's the same energy sometimes that goes around when people start talking about firing Kyle. The facts are is that there's an element of Kyle kind of falling on our doorstep and us not knowing how we got him, on top of the fact that Jed is cheeks at picking coaches. All right. So that's really what it is. It's, man, not only is Trent good, which he is, but two things could be right at the same time. Like keep it a buck, Chuck. Half of this is, dude, we traded for this guy, and he kind of saved our asses when Joe Staley was about to be out, lying to everybody, telling everybody that he was retired, that he wasn't going to retire when he really was done. And this guy came in at the 11th hour. And the truth is that same anxiety comes up every time we have to repay Trent. He replays that scenario over and over and over again of like, what are you going to do? You don't have a left tackle, and we fall for it all the time. So the truth really isn't, the real story really isn't, oh, Trent Williams, a Hall of Famer. What do you expect us to do? You're an idiot if you don't sign Trent Williams. Nah. You ain't getting away that easy. The real truth is that your ass don't know how to develop a left tackle. You don't know how to choose and draft a left tackle. And Trent Williams is leveraging the 49ers because he knows that. That's what's happening.
You know what my favorite thing about this conversation, and every year there's a conversation like this for a 49er player. And depending on who it is, some people are like, I mean, the guy signed a contract, just play your contract, bro. Like, why are you out here looking for more money? But when it's a guy that you like a Trent Williams or a CMC, it's like, just do whatever he wants, man. Like, just pay him, do it. He's under contract. He's under contract. Why? These are the guys you play hardball with. You've bent over backwards three separate times paying this man. Why do it a fourth time when he's 38 years old, man? He's under contract. Just let it ride. Let it ride.
Yeah, they need to, bro. Like, honestly, Trent is punking the Niners. That is what he is doing. All right? Like, Trent is coming straight up on the Niners and saying, what bike? Like, Debo, bro. Like, what you talking about? He is punking them. He's saying, no, you know what? I know this year I'm supposed to get paid. I'm not supposed to get guaranteed money, and I signed this. But guess what? You ain't got no backup plan, and you're going to pay me anyway. That's what he's doing. And you know what's even crazier is that Trent's not the only one. You know who else did that? Christian McCaffrey.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't, you know what I'm saying? It looks a little different in Dockers and pleated pants. But he did the same shit.
Exact same thing.
Came out, had a contract, signed it, got to the end of his guaranteed money. We lost the Super Bowl, and he was like, "Nah, you got to pay me for my services. Nah, you ain't about to get that much out of me. You got to pay me." That's what he did. So that's why the organization is taking over, and I don't blame them because they're getting punked. And on top of it, if just in case, you know how like sometimes you be friends with somebody where you think they're a bully, and you're like, I don't know if this dude think I'm a bully or not. Like this dude, like he cool, you know what I'm saying? But this dude is like way bigger than me. I don't know. But then like he do some ill shit where you're like, oh, this nigga thinks I'm a bitch. Like Brandon Ayuk was how Brandon Ayuk reacted really kind of opened up the organization's eyes to, oh, they have an entitlement. Like they think they're supposed to just get paid. Nah, we ain't doing all that. So, hey, look, the Texans, exactly. Big Mo, the Texans will pick up Trent in a heartbeat. And he from there, the story writes itself. Go play with D'Amico.
Listen, and I mean, my point is that the 49ers aren't true Super Bowl contenders, in my opinion, this year. If I felt they were, then I would say just do what you got to do to get Trent on the field. And I would agree with that. But if you think like I do about the 49ers this upcoming season, then you don't acquiesce to players like Trent. You just can't do it.
Nope.
You cannot do it. Because I'm looking at 27 and 28, and that's more important to me than 2026. Just is. I'm not doing it. And I know that he will show up. I know he'll show up. He's not retiring. He wants his money.
He's going to get paid.
It's a lot of money on those game checks.
It takes a lot to fill up them damn jets. He's showing up for his money.
Yeah.
He gonna get paid. He just wants it. He doesn't want it to get caught up in voided years and, incentives and win-loss. He just wants it up front. He just wants his money.
Yep.
But, I don't know. I think we have to, I don't know, Jess. I wouldn't pay him. Would you let him walk?
He's not going nowhere. He's under contract, so I'm not paying him.
I'll see you at practice.
I'll see you at practice. I'll see you week 1. It is what it is. I'll see you week 1. And your backup is going to get a lot of practice because we're going to need him for 3-4 games anyways with your 38-year-old ass. So see ya. I'm not doing it again. I'm just not. Yeah. Like at some point, you got to put your foot down. You got to put your foot down.
Remember the most Avengers X-Men shit of our team was like the most T-Rex versus Godzilla shit on our team was, oh my God, you got to see Trent versus Nick. Trent versus Nick is just those one-on-ones are just unbelievable. You just can't wait to sit.
Saw for like a practice.
Come on, son.
We were at training camp, or I was at training camp 2 years in a row. I think I saw that matchup a grand total of 0 times in practice. 0.
Yeah.
0
it's
times.
Time to move these. I'm gonna be real, and this ain't because I watch these guys and I've been grateful to watch these dudes play. But it's time to break these dudes down like shotguns and sell them for parts. Like, I do not want to deal with this whole... They don't get farewell tours. Fuck that. They didn't win shit. We got to get something out of them. They didn't win. But so if they didn't win, we have to get assets for these dudes.
Telling you, man.
We don't owe them anything. They didn't win for us.
I agree. Completely agree. Dazza says, if we agree that the Niners aren't contenders, how does it make sense to go after Crosby? It doesn't. I've never advocated for trading for Crosby.
I don't think we should.
Absolutely not. Crosby makes a lot of sense for teams like the Seahawks and the Rams. He doesn't make any sense for the 49ers, I don't think.
Nope.
So I agree with you. Also, they shouldn't extend Bosa or Trent. Completely agree.
Nope.
Completely agree.
You know how much?
But I bet you they extend both.
Bro, you know what Bosa's due next year?
Like $42 million on the cap, I think, something like that.
42.
Yeah.
His cap hit this year at 29 years old is 41.6.
Mm-hmm.
His cap hit next year in 2026 is 41.6.
Mm-hmm. 2027, so 41.6, and then
no. I'm wrong. His cap hit this year. This year,
41.6.
It's 41.6. That's his cap hit this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
His base salary is 22.6. They got a potential out in 2027. He's due 32.6 in his base salary. He's going to count against the cap at $52 million. We may be done with Nick after this year. There's no way on God's green earth that they are going to pay this dude $32.6 million next year.
In base salary. If they cut him next year and do a post June 1st designation, they'd have 19 million in dead cap, which saves 32 million against the cap versus having him, and only 14.6 million the year after, and he'll be 30 years old. That's what I would do. I'm not working on his contract either. I'm not.
Did the
not doing
Niners
it.
have the sand? Did the Niners have the sand to talk about the dead rabbits? No, I'm sorry. But did the Niners have the sand to really move on from these guys and try to get parts for them? Or do they just go down with the ship? They just let these guys kind of go off into the sunset?
I don't see the 49ers trading either. Like, I'll give you this. The options of all the options available, and we've seen the lack of backbone that the 49ers have with certain players. I think they try to rework both those deals. And then it's going to be like, then you'll have guys like Lombardi coming out being like, the Niners are just geniuses with the cap. I mean, they freed up $52 million by extending Trent Williams and Nick Bosa. And then in 2 years, when they're both off the roster and you're paying $75 million of dead cap because you did the dumb shit, guys like Lombardi will be nowhere to be found. Like, just what a genius fucking move that was. Like,
It's time to move on
absolutely
from
not.
these dudes, man. It's time. You know, this year they did us well. We got 12 games. They'll all come back healthy this year. Let's see if we can make a run of it again. But by this time next year, I want to be super excited about the youth movement. That's what I want to happen. I'm ready for the youth movement with the 49ers. Ready for the young guys to start filtering in. I'm tired of the names. I'm over it. And if you're saying, oh, coach, coach is ridiculous. He wants to see a rookie over Nick Bosa. He wants to see somebody play over Trent Williams or somebody play over over Jake Brendel. Yes. They have not won. And this is not the get along to go along gang. They're not gonna win. So it's time to move on. I'm ready to see younger guys, man.
No, I agree with you. Completely agree with you.
Yeah, hey, and Dank, that's a beautiful comment. Trading bad contracts is tough too.
No, it is. It definitely is. But you're going to eat a lot of it. You know what I mean? So, but, and that's the other thing is like trading the contract, you're going to take a massive hit to do so, So, I don't know. Out of all the options, the worst option is extending or reworking these deals. And I'm just not doing it. Just not doing it. I'm not doing it. Backup plan for Trent Williams. We didn't have one for Alex Mack. Yeah.
Right. That's
true.
That is what's so funny to me, how the people gaslight the Niners like they are the most smoothly ran organization to touch football. Like, first of all, I wouldn't see them doing that because the Niners don't have a plan for Trent Williams. What do you mean a plan? What's the plan? To get what do you think you're going to do? Get a tackle and alternate series with Trent Williams? Like, what are you talking about a plan? Like, the plan is you get a guy, you play a guy, you bench a guy. That's the plan. You get him ready in camp. That's the plan. Right? Or can Coach Forrester do that because he doesn't like having good players? Right? Well, Coach Forrester, can you imagine us drafting a first round tackle getting a tackle in the first round, and Coach Forrester retires or like resigns from the Niners because he's like, I didn't sign up for elite players. All right? I signed up for bottom of the barrel guys. What are you guys trying to do? Show me up? You must not need me if you're going to get a first round pick. What do you need me for? Only offensive line coach that I've ever seen admit on camera that he's okay with not getting high draft pick linemen. He's okay with that because he wants to prioritize skill guys. Like, fuck out of here, bro. Like, it's unreal.
Yeah, it is unreal. 808 Niner says, Jess, my favorite duck is Emmanuel. Pregnon, he gets this to the second level with ease, and he plays mean, and I guarantee they draft Max Bredson at fullback. You might be right about that.
Pregnon is nasty, but I would love him in the second round. He's not a first
Second
round guy
round,
for me.
yeah. He's not a first round pick. Yeah. No, he's definitely a second round pick. I would love to have him in the second round. And he fits, he definitely fits kind of the style that the 49ers want. Like they want a guy who's agile. I mean, he's go get him. You know what I mean? There's a duck I would love to have. All right, coach, listen, hour and 10 in the books. When we do a show next Monday, legal tampering period will have started. We'll have plenty to talk about. We'll know who's signing where. We'll talk about teams that have gotten better or worse, kind of what we see in free agency, who's still available. Have the 49ers signed anybody by that point? But we'll be a good full day into free agency basically by that point. So I'm looking forward to it. What do you got coming up this week?
We got Neutral Zone tomorrow. We got Faithful Review with me and Tom on Wednesday. Me and Grant are back with the coaches meeting on Thursday. Call-in show on Saturday, man. So tune into the coaches huddle, man.
Full tilt. I love it. Gammon says Forrester has more pull in this draft than Morris.
Oh, and this week's recipe, bro. Next week, bro, we are starting cooking shows for my members, bro. This week's recipe, braised lamb shanks and polenta. It's going to be fire, bro.
I'm going to tell you this right now. Coach sends me food porn all the time. Bro, this man can cook his butt off. Like, it's for real. Coach can cook his butt off. Anyways, all right, Coach.
Good, guys.
I'll talk to you later. Good show. Appreciate y'all. Much love. Peace.